working on my homework because I think in all these semesters, these one are the one that are most charged with job this time. And
Really?
yes. Um,
Okay. Yeah, I know that feeling of being sometimes overwhelmed, that you have so much work to do that you feel overwhelmed, and I know how you feel, and I think there is only one thing to do, Mitch. I don't know what you think, but I try to be. I know that you are very organized, and that's a very positive thing. What else can you do? I guess rather than asking, than saying, I ask you, what else can you do to feel better?
mm,
What else can you do to feel better, to alleviate the stress, to get rid of the stress? What else can you do?
mm, take some break, take a nap, play for some minutes a video game, things like
Yeah,
that.
yes, exactly. Release the stress when you are overwhelmed, right? When you
Mm-hmm.
are overwhelmed. Yeah, exactly, exactly. Sometimes try to reduce my workload a little bit too, or even how do you say this? When you give these activities to someone, well, obviously not the school activities, but for example, some classes that I used to give in the school, I am passing those to some of my teachers. So I tell some of my teachers, hey, can you teach Tuesdays and Thursdays? And I get more time for myself, more time to rest, for example.
Mm-hmm.
They, there is a saying, I am biting more than I can chew. Have you heard this expression?
Pretty much, it's like you overcharge yourself at work, uh, even knowing that you don't have the time to do it. Actually, I think I did something like that minutes ago because I see that a classmate who was their turn to edit a video. I didn't like how he was editing it. Then, hey, I'm going to do it. Okay.
Ah, so you took an extra responsibility.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, and when you overload yourself, yeah, it's you overstretch yourself also.
Mm-hmm.
Overstretch yourself, and that has happened to me, and it's sometimes exhausting. Overstretch, overload, overstretch. Yeah, I know the feeling.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what to say, other than maybe not do it. When somebody says to me, "What did you do?" "Oh, I overloaded myself." And what do you think? Well, maybe I shouldn't overload myself. I mean, what else
Yeah,
can you say other than maybe not
maybe
do
not
it?
the best idea.
Yeah, but well, it depends if you have the time. If you don't have the time, how can you do it if you don't have the time? The day only has 24 days, 24 hours. I'm sorry. But on the other
Mm,
hand, when you see your work and you notice that you put extra effort, very often you feel proud of yourself, don't you, Mitch?
yes, very much.
Yeah, I know. What other classes are you having this semester?
I have Premedia that is about editorials, editorial design, ironically.
O-
Um,
Okay. Wait a
experimentative
second. And
expression that it's like
wait, I need to connect. Excuse
maquetas.
me.
No, yo llego primero. Pues te lo puedes subir. Tengo todo acomodado aquí, no puedo mover todo. A ver, ¿cuándo?
I am back again. I'm sorry.
No worry. Se va.
Here's Mickey. Hey, Mickey. Good morning. Good
Hi,
morning.
teacher. Good morning.
Can you hear me?
Yes, teacher.
Hey.
Uh, teacher, because I made it here in front of me. That's why. Sounds weird in the moment that I'm talking.
No, I got here first. Then you have to go up.
There is a little echo here when I don't know if it's mine or what's going on.
No, it's Mickey.
Is it maybe the microphone or the earphones? Sounds weird.
Let me move on, teacher, to other part of the house because I think that is because there's like an interference, and that's why it sounds like an echo. Let me move
Yeah,
to
there's an
other
echo.
side.
Yeah. Okay, no problem, Mickey. Sure thing. Okay. So, you were saying to me, Mitch, that you have a good number of classes today, right? This semester.
Yes, sir. Yes, teacher. I think the most not difficult, but yes, overcharge of working. It's this one that I'm doing that is digital audio, Premedia, that is to do literally a book, a professional book. Um, what more? Experimentative expression that it's about maquetas.
Drafts or frames,
Yeah,
building frames,
drafts.
probably.
Every single class we do a different draft, and I'm exhausted about that. Which more? There are some others that I don't know. They think that they just exist their class, and they charge us with a lot of work in this time.
Yeah, that's common too. That happens. Oh, I'm the math teacher, so the other teachers have to abide and consider that this is the most important class, right?
Oh yes,
So,
everyone said that.
yeah, but we sometimes ignore or don't take into consideration that the student has other classes and other homeworks and other assignments. So sometimes we are overloaded. Have you ever been overloaded in your semesters, Mickey? Thank you, Mitch, for the comment.
Mm, well, in the school, to be honest, no.
No,
Sometimes when it's the exam weeks,
right.
because 1 week before is the project week, so sometimes it's not complicated, but uh, it's a lot of work to do. But sometimes I feel more overwhelmed when I'm uh, trying to do other things in the moment that I'm doing the school things, you know.
Yes. And
But
how? Yes, Mickey.
um, tell me.
I was going to ask you and Mitch, how do you cope with your activities when you are overloaded? Let's say that you have lots of things to do. How do you organize them so that you are not, so that you don't break down?
Hmm. Uh, when I have different activities to do in a day, I always write on my cell phone in notes, and it's like, okay, that's the things that I need to do this day, and Doesn't matter how I'm gonna do it, but I'm gonna do it.
Okay. And do you give like a sign of importance? Do you ever say, "Oh, this is the most important. This is a priority," or how do you organize them? Do you organize them by time, by importance, by degree of difficulty? How is it that you say this is number one, or just how they come to your head? They say, "Oh, I
No,
remember."
by time, for example, is something. If it's something that don't takes me so much time to do it, I give it uh, preference because it's like okay, I did one thing and now I have only three pending things, and I think that it's better because when you achieve one thing, the other things are easier, at least for me.
Okay, okay, very good. How do you? Thank you, Mickey. How do
Mhm.
you organize your activities, Mitch, when you have a lot of things to do? Um, in your head, in your brain, in a piece of paper? How do you organize them?
Oh, recently I discovered an app that helps me with that. I tend to use it with my teamwork that I do illustrations sometimes. It's called Asana, and it you can put all the responsibilities that you have, if it is from the school or personal ones, and you organize it like the most important and the less important, or the one who you have to do in that day or in that hour. And it really helps me very much because order better myself, my brain, and don't get stressed very much than before.
Okay, what's the name of the app you said? Asana?
Asana.
Like this?
Hmm.
Wow, okay. So that's a good app to organize your time or your tasks, activities, right?
Yes.
S- The tasks and or activities. Okay, very good. Um, yeah, what I try not to do normally is I organize them by degree of importance. I have, for example, I need to do this. This is with the attorneys, and I have three situations, right? So I say, well, the land of Leon is this. Call the attorney. Call the attorney. The my dad's house. That's house is this and that, and three, etc., etc. So I do it normally per per topic sometimes. Yeah, sometimes per topic. For example, I do UDEMEX, the university in Mexico. Then I do CONACYT, that apparently is going to disappear. And then I do number three, the Jean Piaget, right? The school where I teach. And I do the language center, right? Top class, right? Top class. Top. And I normally have write my pendings, like for example, in the UDEMEX, meeting at 4, meeting at 4. We're gonna see it, classes start again on Tuesday. JP, no class on Monday, which is fantastic.
Hmm.
And top class, I pay the teachers, so I have to do the new schedule for 8 May, for example. So normally I do it per topics, depending on the things that I'm working on, right? So these are the four activities that I do now. And of course, I need to discard one, but probably it's going to be the jump yet. Maybe, I don't know. But okay, that's very good that you do that, Mickey. Thank you. Let's now work a little bit on one of the exercises that we were doing yesterday. If you remember the booklet that is very good. Let me show you this, please. Um, this is still part of the grammar exercises that you guys were doing, and I'm very happy that apparently this is not becoming difficult. Let's please work on this for a little bit just to reinforce the grammar, which is advanced grammar. I don't think there is anything simple. So if you are okay with this, let's do this exercise. Mitch, Mickey, please,
Yes,
Mhm.
sure.
which is basically to increase the vocabulary in accordance with good grammar, advanced grammar. So let's do the first one, please.
Mm-hmm. Choose the correct answer.
Okay. And then we have the first exercise. If you go on disturbing, afflicting, concerning, affecting, which is the right answer, please?
Mm, disturbing.
Yeah, disturbing. Yeah, disturbing. Okay, let's complete the sentence, Mickey, please.
If you go on disturbing me like this, I will never be able to finish writing my report.
Very good. Excellent. Thank you. Let's do number two, Mitch, please. Can you?
Turn off this machine, please. The harsh sound really drives me crazy.
Drives me crazy is correct. If it didn't have the word crazy, bothers me would be correct.
Mhm.
Right? So drives me crazy. Very good. Thank you. Number three, please.
Everyone knew that. Mm, completing.
Completing, exactly, yes. Completing. Notice that you can also use the word engaging, but engage needs another preposition, which is in. Engaging engaging in this task. And so that's why engaging is out in this exercise. Good job. All right, number four, Mitch, please.
Mr. Tanner did his best to fix the faulty oven. Did his best to fix the faulty oven. What means faulty oven?
Is an oven like a stufa which has a fault which doesn't work, needs to be
Oh,
repaired.
okay, okay. But his uh, skill?
His skill, his technique, his skill, yeah, yeah, craft, his skill, yes, skill, correct. Number five, Mickey, please.
Judy didn't mm, hesitate.
Hesitate is the word. Yes, very good. Hesitate is to spend time waiting for something. Very good. Let's do number six, Mitch, please.
Don't get so nervous about his coming late. When you get to know him better, you'll learn to take it easy.
To take it easy. Very good. Well, you're doing this quite easily, which is nice. The number seven, please.
Mhm. The inconsiderate driver was fined
Yes, was fined.
for parking his vehicle in the wrong place.
Okay, very good. So the keywords are disturbing, or rather, let's read them, Mitch. Can you read the seven words and which one you find newer or newest or less used? Please, least used.
Mm, con. No, no, no. Linger.
Yeah, well,
And
yes. Yeah, okay.
await.
Okay.
And that's it.
Yeah, but from the ones that were the answers, which is for you the least common, for the least common, sorry.
Mm, no. Maybe hesitate.
Hesitate.
Hesitate. Uh-huh.
Okay. Uh, what is that? What is that?
Eh, descansar o relajarse.
Mm-mm.
No. What is it that? What is that, Mickey?
Mm, like apresurarse or
No, the opposite. I
oh
didn't
yeah,
tomarlo con
yeah.
calma, right? Or
Uh-huh.
esperar. I didn't hesitate. So when you say don't hesitate, if you are if you are in trouble or if you have a question, if you have a question, don't hesitate to ask. No dudes, no te detengas en preguntar, right? If you have a question, don't hesitate to ask. That's a very common expression. Don't hesitate to ask. Even in business, should you have any comments or questions? Should you have any comments or questions? Please don't hesitate to call. No te detengas en llamar, no te esperes en llamar. Some of that type.
Oh,
Don't
okay.
hesitate, right? This is very, very common in business. Should you have any comments or questions, don't hesitate to call. Let's see other use of the word hesitate. Mm, and normally it's in negative context. I mean, not that it's a bad thing, but don't hesitate. No te esperes en llamar. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, find. Well, you know the word find. I know the word find too. I do my community work now,
Mm.
and we're gonna have other exercises here from 8 to 20. Wow, it's a good number. Let me see if I can reduce it and it is visible. I don't know. If it is too small, let me know and I break it in. Yeah, I think I'm gonna break it in two sections, two more sections. Let's do from 8 to 14, and then we do the other ones. Who can do number 8, please? The idea to
Uh, the the idea to do
um,
or pay,
do a visit.
pay.
This correct. Pay is more common. Yes, pay a visit. I'm gonna pay him a visit.
The idea to pay a visit to a local council resident was welcomed by all the visitors.
Very good, excellent. Number 9, Mickey, please.
He's mm, carelessness.
Carelessness. He's not careless of the safety regulations. He can be careless of the problems,
Mm,
but of the safety, he's disregarding, disobeying, right? So
okay.
that's why disregard. Let's read it in that way, Mickey, please.
His disregard of the safety regulations really can't be ignored by any longer.
Yes, exactly. That means that he doesn't, or he or she doesn't uh, care too much of the safety regulation. Carelessness, he's disregard, he's disobeying the regulations. He's careless with the situation. He disregards the regulations. Okay, very good. Thank you, Mickey. Mitch, number 10, please.
Let's abandon.
Yes,
Let's abandon the place. It looks like so gloomy and unpleasant. What means gloomy?
gloomy. That's somber. Somber or gloomy are the same. Somber, gloomy is sombríos, like something opposite to lighty or sunny. The it was it was so gloomy after sunset. The city, sombrío, right? The city looked so gloomy after sunset. Yes, so very dark. You can say
Okay.
dark, somber, gloomy are similar.
Okay.
Dark.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. It's not a very common word, but it's there. So let's abandon the place is correct. Abandon place looks gloomy and unpleasant. All right. Number 11, Mickey, please.
Mm-hmm. What you're saying is quite uh, familiar.
Familiar. Familiar, yes. Familiar. Okay.
So give us, please, more details on the situation.
Okay. Very good. Excellent, Mickey. Thank you. Let's do number 12, Mitch, please.
For a short while, I managed to catch uh, mm, 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 such as vision,
Vision of the president.
or I
You
managed
know,
to
catch notice.
notice.
Catch notice. Catch. No, I'm sorry. That's not to catch sight. I caught sight of the president.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
I managed to catch sight of the president entering the palace. Is an expression not extremely common, but I've seen that quite often, quite sometimes. I caught sight of the president. I then caught sight of her new dress. I then caught sight of my friend's new dress when she just, okay, this is funny, just when she was about to become angry. Okay. Can you read this, Mickey or Mitch, please?
uh, for a short while, I managed to catch sight of the president entering the place, and sorry, I I then caught sight of my friend's new dress just when she was about to become angry.
Yeah, because I didn't notice that she was wearing a new dress. So I caught sight of oh, you have a new dress. It's very pretty.
Mm.
Okay. All right. Well, then let's do number um, 13, Mickey, please. Or Mitch, who's next?
Me? I think
Okay,
so.
Mickey.
Yeah, me.
Yes.
The suggestion to leave the camp at once was strongly mm, complaint.
Complaint. You complain. Let's check it again, please. To leave the cabin one was strongly complained. You don't normally you complain about a problem, not about a suggestion.
Mm,
So you like object, but it's not here. The word object is not correct. I would be you oppose a suggestion. You accept or oppose the suggestion.
okay.
So this
I
case
see.
would be
Uh-huh.
opposed. Let's read it then, Mickey, please.
The suggestion to leave the camp at once was strongly opposed by the climbers who were afraid of the approaching snowstorm.
Yes. Okay, very good. Let's do then number 14, please.
Uh, the first thing for all of you to remember is that uh, neglecting,
Neglecting is because all of them seem to be okay. Neglecting your duties, escaping,
mm,
neglect,
all,
resisting.
all of
Yes,
those could be right.
it looks like it, but one of them must be the most precise. Escaping your duties, neglecting, resisting, or missing. But
Missing?
what
Escaping?
missing, escaping your duties is what you suggest, Mickey, or missing, Mitch?
Missing?
Maybe missing because that would lead to an instant dismissal. You can
Yeah.
neglect, you can resist, but if you miss them, you probably get a reprimand for you by the teachers or by your parents or by someone, right? So miss your duties.
Mhm.
Okay, very good. So let's do then now the other ones, which are
Can I go to the bathroom, teacher?
absolutely, absolutely. Then we have 15 to 20. All right, here we are. Let's read number 15, Mickey, please. Can we?
Mm-hmm. It was the commission's job to decide where the pilot was. Guilty?
Guilty is culpable, right? And A is responsible,
Oh,
uh,
okay.
which is more
If
appropriate in your opinion.
well then, responsible.
Responsible, probably, right? Yes, I was responsible. Yeah. Normally, which are the steps in a jury when a person is on trial? First, I am a suspect. Then they judge me, right? They
Mm-hmm.
judge. Then they come to a verdict, and then they pass the verdict, and they find a person find innocent or guilty, right? That's the verdict. But that is independent whether I am or not responsible of something. Well, okay, Mickey, very good. Thank you. Let's do number 16, please.
Um, None of us has ever mm, persisted.
Looks like persisted, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, persisted of. Do you know what I did? You why don't we check persisted against approved? Approve of, because persisted, you persist with, not persist of. Persisted,
Mm,
like Mickey persisted with his business for many decades and he was successful. So approved of,
approved. Approved of.
yes, approved of, right? For example, uh, what is it that you don't approve of uh, with your classmates? For example, that question, Mickey.
Mm,
Give me a second, really quick,
don't worry,
please.
teacher.
I'm sorry. Sorry. Thank you, Mickey. My friend just got me a cup of coffee and just in the right moment.
Don't worry, teacher.
Yeah, you like
Um,
coffee?
Sorry.
Do you like coffee?
Yeah. Um, Normally, I don't drink coffee, but on Sundays or when we go to take a breakfast, something like that. Yeah.
Okay. Very nice. Very nice. Okay. So what is it that you don't approve of with your classmates, for example, right? Or with society in general? Or which are the things that you don't approve of?
Mm, the lack of respect.
Okay, very good. That's very important. Lack of respect. Yeah, that's okay. That's very important. That shows a value. Let's say that would say to people that that's one of the main values that we have, right? Because that's a common or a shared value, lack of respect.
Yeah.
I don't approve of uh, people throwing trash to the streets. For example. So I approve of or I don't approve of. That's phrase. All right. Thank you, Mickey. Let's do number 17 then, please.
Yeah. Several soldiers of the squad were taking the capture.
He was taking capture, kidnap, and torture are the verbs. So they captured the person of the soldiers, and they were kept hostage, or they were taken hostage. So hostage is noun, and capture, kidnap, and torture are verbs. He was taken hostage. Fue tomado como rehén. And the other case would be fue tomado como capturado. That's rehén is hostage, right?
Yeah.
So during wars, soldiers take people hostage. Son como rehenes during wars, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, not only during wars, but during violent episodes in Irapuato every day.
Yeah.
People are taken hostage. And unfortunately, sometimes they torture them or they kidnap people. What should, in your opinion, Mickey, be the penalty for the different crimes that there exist? For example, arson, libel, and slander, obviously murder, fraud, theft. Which is, in your opinion, the right penalty for the different crimes? Which is it's an ugly topic, but it's there. So, what should be the penalty to stop these crimes?
Arson is like incendio.
Yeah, setting fire to a building or a house or a library or a school or something or a bank.
Obviously, we can't compare. I don't know. Well, all of them are
Pretty bad, right?
are bad. Yeah. I think that the issue here in our country is that there are a lot of corruption, and probably I would say that murder would be the solution. But if they say that a person is guilty and this person is not, I think that that's why I wouldn't choose. How do you say to? There's a word, right?
Yeah.
Condemn.
Condemn them.
Mm-hmm.
Condemned. Yeah, you can condemn, or you can acquit. Condenar o perdonar, which is acquit.
Probably for arson, I would say, because that's
Excuse me.
bless you, a big problem too. I don't know, probably 30, 35 years of condemn.
The penalty would be 30 years.
Yeah.
30 years in prison. I don't know if Mitch is back. I think Mitch is back.
Yes, it was. I just disconnected a minute ago because.
Okay. You lost connection, Mitch. Okay, don't worry. We are doing a little parenthesis on the exercises because in number 17, Mitch.
Yes, I see.
You see, okay, very good. So we have some crimes, and I was asking Mickey what the penalty for the different crimes could be. For example, libel and slander, which is I say defamatory words about a person or an institution, and I go public without proving them. and
Hmm.
those that defamation is defamatory and gives a bad name and prestige for that person or the institution. So that's obviously something uh, uncourteous and is considered a crime in the US and in Mexico. So, what is the penalty?
Mm,
Probably 30 years too.
Mm, 30 years, okay. We need severe penalties, right? To
Yeah.
avoid
If
so
we don't
many.
have severe penalties, people continue doing the same.
Yes, well, murder, craft, theft, ugh, so many things that happen.
Murder, I would say 80.
80, that would be
80.
almost like a life imprisonment, right?
Mm-hmm.
Imprisonment. Well, that would be murder. How about fraud?
40.
40.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Excuse me, excuse me.
Bless
bless
you.
you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. And how about
I'm at
theft?
50.
50. 50.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, the real problem, and this is a digression from the exercise, just a minute, just a couple of minutes. One of my students at top class works in Silao. I think I told you about this. And she confronts the suspects, potential criminals, and interviews them. And she said, and she's of course in control of many policemen. And some of the policemen, many of the policemen, she says, admit openly to be with one group of people. I mean, with one cartel, and the other people, no, 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 I'm with the other cartel. Openly, with no shame, no, no shame at all. So, what do you think of that, Mitch or Mickey? That the police forces openly admit that they belong to a cartel?
Mm, that we are doomed. Laura, go.
Dumb.
Mm,
Yeah, we.
well, I think there is something bigger than that. Obviously, it's because there's a big corruption, and it is difficult because it's supposed that you must uh, feel confident with our police or with our authorities, but in reality, it's something that happened.
Exactly. And the problem is that we normalize that, right? It
Hmm.
does not become a scandal. We say, well, yeah, the police are infiltrated.
Yeah,
Oh,
it seems like normal.
yeah, exactly. Normalized. How would you call these kind of situations? Normalized, unacceptable.
Hmm.
So we normalize unacceptable situations. And imagine that the police openly admit that they are with the cartels and we don't do nothing. Well, we don't do nothing. We don't do anything because I wouldn't do anything because I would be afraid, right? I have, well, not my daughters, but I have my mom, for example, here in Mexico. I have many friends. I have my students. I have myself. So I would say, well, I'm not gonna openly fight against this situation, but I'm gonna little by little denounce it. I'm gonna denounce without taking too much risk that this situation occurs.
Yeah, I think that the issue here is that, for example, if you want to denounce a bad situation, it is I don't know, probably at 90 or 95% that authorities know about it, but they don't do well. They don't act to solve this problem.
Yes. And why is it that they don't act?
For the
Do you think
same,
they
for
are
corruption.
colluded? Yeah, they are colluded.
Hmm.
But then the question that I'm sure that you or Mitch are asking yourselves, and I ask myself, is how far does this go? I mean, if the police are involved obviously the chief of police is involved. That means what? Chief of police is involved. Then who else is involved? If the chief of police is involved, do you think that the mayor of the city is involved, or he is permitting this? He's permissive out of fear. So those are the two possibilities, I think. Either he is involved or he is permissive out of fear. What do you think, Mitch?
Hmm. What means? Okay. Is permitted or fear?
Yeah, he allows crime in the organization, but not because he likes it, but because he's forced to do that. Otherwise, they are under threats. Threat.
Mm, yeah, I think so. That it is permissive or out of fear because, well, I theory if the major was involved, they could continue being a mayor of the city a lot of years more. Uh, but every 3 years, they here we change of mayor.
Yeah,
It's
well,
a new person.
it's a what?
It's a new person each 3 years.
Each 3 years. Yes. Well, the situation is so blatant. Blatant is so evident. Blatant is like so evident, right? The crime is so rampant, so openly admitted, and nobody does anything. There is a guy in El Salvador. Have you heard of him, Mickey or Mitch? I think we talked about him the other day, or didn't we?
Bukele?
Yeah, exactly. You mentioned him. What is he doing as compared to what we're doing in Mexico? Yeah, Bukele. You said that, Mickey. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Um, well, it's supposed that uh, he is fighting against the gangs called Mala Salvatrucha or something like that, that are
Yes.
famous to of doing different crimes, since kidnap, murder, well, all those things. And I think that he's doing some strategies where the gangs are having a little bit of fear or more respect to the authorities. For example, I've seen some videos of him when he's talking about uh, that he doesn't gonna give food or services to the people who is in jail if they continue doing those crimes and things like that.
Okay. What do you think of this strategy, Mitch?
Mm, that they have all the government control.
Yeah, looks like that, right? Um, how can we get there? Is there a way to get there? And I'm not saying that's going to be very easy. Let me just make a stairs here really quick. Right, rampant. I'm going to say that we are in this position here in Mexico. That is let's define it. I'm going to define it as rampant crime, uh, rampant. I don't know what it is. Okay, rampant crime, collusion, authorities, um, normalized view of citizens and authorities. Obviously, I mean there is crime. Well, yeah, but we cannot do anything, so we just continue with our normal lives. Um, no shame. They think that there's something that deserves to be applauded rather than embarrassment or shame. How can we get from here to decent, respectful society in which there is, like Mickey was saying, total respect or civil respect, um, no violence, um, respect, I guess is the word, obedience to authority, which actually there is a book with a very good experiment that I'm going to share with you. It's called precisely Obedience to Authority.
Mhm.
So how can we go from here from number 1 to number, I don't know if it's number 10 or whatever the number is. How can we get from there to there? Is it
Uh,
easy? Yes.
no, I don't think that it's easy in and in Mexico. I think that it's a big problem because, well, what we said in the beginning, there's a big corruption,
Yes.
and I would say that it's so difficult because I remember one day that my mom were uh, robbed for a guy that he was in his uh, motorcycle.
Okay.
Uh,
Yes.
she was outside of the school, and this guy came with her and take her back, And when the police arrived, I remember that they told her that they're gonna if they capture this guy, they're gonna leave him away in 2 or 3 days because there's no enough evidence that he did that, right. And I think that we need to change some laws too. I don't know, but for me, I've read more about it, but the human rights, sometimes I think that they defend enough those people.
Seem to defend criminals. Okay, I agree with you. Criminals more than citizens. Okay,
Yeah.
I agree with you. The human rights movement, the human rights. What do you think about this, Mickey? Thank you, Mickey. Mitch,
Hmm.
what do you think?
Mm.
Seems there's more than citizens at times. What do you think of this?
Yes, for example, when uh, you are, how can I say, threat by a criminal, you for defend yourself, you kill them, even if wasn't your intention. The pen usually the penalty it's for you uh, a lot of years in the jail just because you kill a human. But it was a criminal, even if you were defending yourself, and that's pretty unfair. And how we can defend ourselves then?
Yes. Um, do you think that more scrutiny towards the authorities, more open scrutiny towards our police forces and or authorities should prevail or be established if they are colluded, and obviously a severe penalty? If someone who is an authority is colluded with crime, I would give the top penalty in my personal. That may sound very severe, but I would give the top penalty to a person because it's treason. Actually, that is treason, and in times of war, treason was punished by the life penalty, death
Yeah.
penalty. Yeah, I mean, if you give secrets, actually, remember the other day we were talking about a very beautiful opera called Aida,
Hmm.
and the guy involuntarily gave because he was in love with the daughter of the opponent pharaoh,
Yeah, I
and
gave information.
Yeah, exactly. And he noticed that when he gave information, he says, "Oh, I just gave information to my enemies. I am a traitor." And he gave himself to the authorities. I committed treason. I deserve the death penalty. And they bury him alive, which is a horrible way of dying, right? To be buried
Yes.
alive, imagine. And he gave himself to the authorities. Well, that's very old. Why should that change? In times of war, traitors normally are executed. In this case, officers that collude with the crime, well, they are betraying the society. So, in a way, they are traitors as well. So, treason is punished with a capital penalty. That's my probably rough but convinced opinion. But of course, who's gonna apply that, right, or enforce it?
Yeah, that's the issue. There's a lot of levels, and I think that it is difficult that something like that is approved, at least here in Mexico.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. But let's say that more open scrutiny. You scrutinize their work. You put like cameras, or they give reports, or anything there should be something that can be done.
Hmm.
And then there must be suggestions given by the citizens from a position of safety, in which you suggest things without being in the open or exposed, because then you want to avoid retaliation, right?
Yeah.
Well, I'm sorry that I deviated from the exercise, but that was an
No,
interesting
no.
topic.
I enjoy those talks.
Yeah, we make some digressions and we fix the world, right, Mitch or
We
Mickey?
try to fix the world.
Yes.
At least on paint. We fix the world on paint here.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Well, you never know, right? One day,
that's the
maybe,
beginning.
and you never know, maybe one day you or Mitch will be in a position of authority. Thank God, and we need very decent people to be there, so that'd be amazing. That, well, now a new mayor of the city, Mickey or Mitch,
Woo!
Mitch or Mickey for president, right? Of Irapuato. Well, you never know. You never know. People.
Yeah, why
There,
not?
there, let me tell you something. There was I have a friend that's a very old lady. She's an amazing woman. I love her. She's 93 years old, and she has a son that is a very smart guy, very smart. His name is Emilio, and he's like 60 something, 65 years old, and he's in an alliance with Emilio. This is Emilio. He's an excellent person. And he's in an alliance with Chinese people, Chinese businessmen.
Hmm.
They were installing lamps in the municipalities. Lamps. They had an appointment with the mayor of San Miguel de Allende many years ago. Mayor. And the fact that this person was a very correct major, very decent, he was of a good family, so he didn't have the need of stealing. He didn't have to steal because he already had a good position, a good academic position. He was a very correct, decent person. And the Chinese had a policy. They say no bribes to anyone. That was the only thing. We can sell cheap, we can give a discount, we can do this, but we give no money under the table to anyone. That was his policy, their policy of the Chinese guys. And Emilio told them, look, Mr. Major, we want to give you a prize for the lamps to illuminate the city. That was for San Miguel de Allende many years ago. But the policy is that we give no bribes. All right, no problem. So they gave him an appointment, and they were going to make the business presentation for the lamps. And this president was extremely correct. But then 2 days before the meeting, the president said, well, I have to go out to this meeting in Mexico City, but the secretary will attend you. Okay. Uh, the president said, the mayor said, make sure the meeting is in the presidency, in the city hall. Yeah, of course. So they called the secretary, and the first thing the secretary said, what do you think was it?
Hmm.
The place of the meeting. What do you think? He said, well, let's have the meeting in this restaurant
Yeah.
out of the city hall. And the first comment that the secretary made was, well, what is the percentage for me, right?
Yeah, of course.
And so, do you know what the Chinese did? Because Emilio was trying to translate,
Hmm.
and the Chinese noticed that something was happening, but he didn't want to translate because that would mean end of the business, end of the negotiation. And so, at one point in time, the Chinese guys put pressure on him and told him, translate, what are they saying? And they said, well, they're asking us for 5% under the table. Well, the Chinese delegation stood up, all of them at the same time, and said, okay, let's go. And they left the restaurant. But wait, no, 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 there's some misunderstanding. Let's go. And they just woke up and left the place.
Yeah. Well, another culture.
Yeah, the thing is that sometimes one person can be very, very decent, very correct, etc., but the people around are also corrupt. So that creates a problem. Okay. Well, tomorrow is May 1st, Mickey. Tomorrow we don't have labors in school or anything, so we have time for a class maybe. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Tomorrow is Sunday or Monday? No, tomorrow is Monday, right?
Tomorrow is Monday. Yeah.
You want to work in the morning again, like today? Would that be okay?
Yeah. For me, it's good
Yes.
because I've
Okay.
already woken up at 7, so
Okay.
there's not an issue for me.
Oh, fantastic. Today I overslept a little bit. I'm sorry. I didn't set the alarm clock.
No, don't worry, teacher.
But well. So what time is it okay for you guys, Mitch or Mickey?
8, it's okay for me.
8 o'clock? Mitch,
Mhm.
for you,
Mhm.
it's okay?
Yes.
Yes?
Yeah, 8.
Okay. Well, okay, let's go then and have a wonderful Sunday. Mitch, Mickey, take care.
You too, teacher. Enjoy your day. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
teacher.